We're working on the bow staff, level 1, level 2, a little bit, strikes, blocks, some of the kata, some of the form, but mostly spinning flow. And it's gonna be a fast one, depending on when NASA starts the countdown, because we're gonna watch the launch. We can go outside here where we are and watch that new Elon Musk rocket go up into space. So if I cut it short, it's because I'm watching it in the background. I want to go out and see the rocket take off. Like when I was a kid, we used to launch the space shuttles up. The rocket's going up here in a few minutes. All right, so you're going side to side. Just going to warm up the wrists. This also is going to strengthen the wrists. Starts to prepare you for all of the bow flow when you start to do freestyle, but it's also going to help you with fighting. Stronger, faster grip, better hands, better use of the staff. Start to speed that up. You're going to do this warm up for about a minute from side to side. Kind of compressing here. Then from here, go to an overhand butterfly spin. This hand's turning. This hand, their palms are facing each other in opposite directions. The right hand's on top, left hand's in the bottom. The wrists stay in contact, and I twist. I'll show you. I've got a Joe here. I'm gonna grab it. And I know this is a fast martial arts weapons lesson. I'm using the bow now, but we can use the Joe here in a second. Let me get you started here. Warm this up. Bring that to a stop. Push it back the other way. Try to keep my eye on the NASA space launch in the background. I want to see him send the new SpaceX rocket up into space. Got a couple of astronauts. Just up the street from where we are in Cape Canaveral. It's pretty cool. All right, so you have that spin here, and then I want you to go into a butterfly spin with one hand, going forward first for about 30 seconds, speeding it up when you're ready, and then reversing it, pulling it up, and then put it into the other hand, forward. They're very different, even though they are, the one is a derivative of the other. So the Joe comes from the bow. They're very different in the way they move. Like I said, I'll grab one in a minute and I'll show you. I just want to get you started. I especially wanted to go over the kata, or the basic form, if you're working on that. So you want to reverse, you did forward, you did reverse, put it back into the first hand, spin to the front and the back of the body, and then reverse that spin. So you're pulling it up, carving through that infinity symbol. This is the endless spin. Put it into the other hand, and you're going to start in that forward spin to the front and the back of the body. And all of these moves, done in this order, gets you into bow staff freestyle, or flow arts, is another term for it. Thinking about how you go from one hand to the other hand, to the front of the body, back of the body, over the head, roll over your neck, all of those cool things that you might want to learn how to do with the spins. It's also going to help you fight better when you start to strike. So we're up to strikes now. Start with your hands here like you're doing a push-up, and you're going to punch here and punch here. This is a very basic. It depends. If you're inside, use your Joe. If you're outside, use the bow. Or, like I do, I warm up with the bow, and then I practice with the Joe. From here, I spend about 10 minutes with each weapon, at the most, 10 weapons, because I do it every single day. And I do, I literally do 30 seconds with this spinning, and then you can start to work with the Joe. The Joe is just the shorter staff. There's the hanbo, which is the shortest. It's called like walking stick height. And then the Joe, which comes up to about your armpit, 50 to 56 inches. And then the longer bow staff. So this is the bow. The Joe's the one kind of in the middle. All right, so push-up position, put your left foot in front of the right foot back, punching just to the face. And you want to bring it through the middle with as much force as you can and bring it to a stop on the top of the arm. Bringing it under to your ribs is not the right strike. That's a different technique altogether. Bring it over the arm from here to here. 30 seconds these basic strikes. And then I want you, while you're in this position, one foot forward, the other one back, do a high block. From here, pushing up, and then add 2 strikes. High block, and then the other side. High block, 1, 2, high block, 1, 2, high block, 1, 2. Doesn't matter which side, just 1, 2. High block, 2 strikes. It just so that your brain makes the association with stopping the attack that's coming in from here and up. Even if it's a straight punch, right to your nose, still goes up. This is not just for this motion. This is catching that hand that's coming in or the knife that's coming in, and it's pushing it up to expose their body. Push it up and then break their ribs, right? But that's all that is. That's the first one. The second one, straight down, low block. And in the same position, you can switch your feet if you want, pushing hard, punch, punch, 2 to the knee. One side, the other side. Down, 1, 2, punch, 1, 2, punch, 1, 2. Same thing coming up and over that arm. So from here, 1, 2, here, 1, 2. Then, with your hands still in the same position, you're gonna turn until the hand comes to your shoulder, and you're gonna block down. Just as you would like a karate, low block, tang sudo, taekwondo, any of the striking arts. From here, turn into your shoulder. Your other hand is up in your armpit. This is my left hand. My right hand is up in there. And then the left hand comes down. At no time does your hand come off the staff. Turn it all the way the other way so that your right arm or right hand is on your left shoulder. Lock down, spin all the way through. Spin, 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 and then turn your hip. Turn your hip to increase the speed and the force of this blocking motion. Down, 2, 1, 2. Faster and faster, but start slow. Slowly increase your rate of speed and make sure that it's here, out in front of your body, not straight down, but you want to stop the attack as far away from you as you can. So from here, 1, 2, 1, 2. And the proper stance, if you want to get technical, get into a back stance or a cat stance so that one foot's going sideways, the other one's going straight. If I'm facing you, my one foot faces you, the other foot goes to the side like an L, and they're apart so that if I step back, I don't cross my legs over. So just from here, one foot's here, the other foot turns sideways, and I'm down, turning, block. If I want to do the other side, block. And then you can practice if you want, stepping forward in the back stance, stepping back from here to here to here to here. That's basically all the moves in the basic kata form. There's one more, which is the exact same move as this, except it's done to the face and it becomes a strike. From here, straight through. It's extremely powerful because you have this pivot point and you have all this leverage in this big stick. That's why I think this is one of the best street fight self-defense weapons, because if you've got a knife, but I have a stick, I can create distance, all the force of my body, even though it's not a knife, it's a small spot. I stick it here, I stick it there, stick it there. You don't have as much of an advantage as you did before, or as you would if I didn't have that. Thank you, I really appreciate that. All right, so back to the spin to your shoulder. We were going down, now it just comes straight out. Straight out, try to get a little closer without breaking the tripod again. 1, thank you, 2. But I also want you to turn your whole body into it. Turn your body. So one side to the other side, and this is also gonna help you when you start to fight or flow a little bit. Hello from Argentina, or to Argentina. All right, so the form, let's go to the form real quick. I'm gonna grab the Joe and show you, hopefully before they launch. I'm watching in the background the rocket at NASA Kennedy Space Center. It's just up the ocean, just up the river a little bit, or the water. And when they send that thing up, if it's not too cloudy, and it's already pretty cloudy, but I'm gonna run out because sometimes we can see, or often we can see, when they send the small rockets up, and this is that big one with 2 astronauts in it. All right, so you're gonna hold it in your left hand, just like you're walking with the staff. From here, slide this left hand down. See if you can see that. So it looks like that. And then your fingers just close around it. So now it's down into your body. So you're here, just slide it straight down. That's all it is. You're not turning your hand. Your other hand comes straight up. And this is the bow. There's more than one way to bow with a long weapon like this. But this is the way I want you to bow. Just follow me. If you're working on this curriculum, push it down, bring it up, bow, and then your hand is going to turn palm out while you lift the staff off the floor. The other hand comes in here. Now, your hands, if you look, are evenly in the middle. When your hand's down here, if I put it here and bring it up, once it's evenly in the middle, but if I put it here, then I have a long side and a short side, and you're not going to be able to do the kata. So the way all these all the forms with these strikes, like this first one, start from here. Your hand just slides down. Your hand comes to the side. Your feet together. Hand comes up. Don't overthink it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it done. Lift this staff off the floor. Slide the hand in. Now you've got that position. From here, you're going to step to the look first. Step to the left into a long front stance. So the front knee bends, back leg straight. High block, punch left, punch right. Let me come just a little bit closer, but I wanted you to see the legs. So from here, lifts, grab, turn, push straight up, punch left, punch right. Bring your left foot in, turn to the right, high block, punch right, punch left. Just the opposite, right? So back from here, see my feet? From here, up, in, comes up. See that? Comes up, comes in, pull to your chest, step into that long stance, high block, punch left, punch right, bring it in, your feet just under your body, turn, look first, bend the front knee, high block, punch right, punch left, bring your feet in, keep your knees bent, step into the back stance. Right foot goes to the side, left foot to the front, turn, 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 low block with the left, step, back stance, low block with the right, bring your feet in under your body, turn, look first, left foot out into a front stance, high block, or low block, sorry, it's the other side of low block. Down, your left foot's forward, strike left, right, bring your left foot in, turn your head, pivot on your feet, step with the right, right foot forward, front stance, low block, punch right, punch left. Right foot forward, that means the right hand comes out first. Right, left, bring your feet in so they're just directly into your body. You're gonna step, back stance, step into the back stance, block down left, step into the back stance, block down right. So you're repeating the middle section that you did coming forward. So let's start from that very beginning. From here, slide the hand down, hand up, feet in, lift, bend the knees, step, high block, punch left, right, knees in, step, high block, punch right, left, step in, left foot toward the front, in a back stance, that means right foot goes to the side, block down right, or left first, step, block down right. Bring the feet in, pivot to your chest, high block, I did it again, low block, punch left, right, bring your feet in, pivot, step with the right, low block, punch right, left, feet in, step with the left foot to the back, blocking down left, step through with the right, block down right, and then from here, bending the knees, you're gonna step into a front stance, left foot forward, comes to your shoulder, that's that vertical strike, bring it around, 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 right foot forward, and that's the whole form. Super basic, super simple, but if you do it over and over and over again, you will be really, really good. At that first level, you'll start to master the basics, which is what the belt represents. Mastery of each level, you get the black belt, mastery of all the basics. That's all black belt is. Black belt's not fancy, not some mystical being that can walk through walls, or not some ninja. Black belt just means you mastered the basics. At the end, after I did this, just bring it out, spin it to each side. So one more time from here, spin on the left, spin on the right, back to the left. It's behind my shoulder, bring it back up. Just turn your hand around, slide it back where you started, feet together. And I know it's a really fast, this is a fast martial arts weapons lesson, but I wrote that down, that form, that kata, pumse, whatever you want to call it, pattern, is in the link below. If you go to my website, pasquinelli.com, it'll say like bow staff, basic level or first level or something. It's in the link below. Click on that, go there. If you see an ad, click on it. It's just the only way I make any money, especially with this woo hand. I haven't made any money in a long time. Anyway, just mostly joking, but go there and you can see I've written it out because some people learn better. Did you know there are 3 ways to learn? There are the people who need to experience it, kinesthetic learners like us, the ADHD, ADD kids in school. There's nothing wrong with them. That's not a deficit. That's not a disease. That's a way of learning. That's kinetic, or kinesthetic. Thank you, I appreciate that. But that's how we're made, right? There are visual learners, people who learn when it's written down there, they'll read that and that'll make most sense to them. And that's good, that's one way of learning. There's ones that learn by hearing a story, hearing it spoken and described. Auditory learners, they'll get it from hearing me talk about it and reading it out loud. But then they're the ones like us who need to have the stick in the hand and like, what is it? Okay, and then you'll pick it up. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. You just learn in that way. Remember that. Don't let anybody stick a label on you. Labels are awful, right? All right. Yes, spar with staffs. 2 tips. Number 1, go very slowly at first. Not because you're afraid of getting hit, but because your brain and your body have to get on the same page of what works and what doesn't work. Because not all the moves work, right? Number 2, I'm gonna give you 3 tips. Number 2, have a good firm grip. Anytime you take your hand off of the staff, you have a chance of losing it. Your staff goes down, they still have this big stick in their hand. You're sparring, you've lost, right? You should lose. But if you fight with me, with bow staff, which I love to do, I know how to spin it in certain ways or how to hit it in certain ways and at certain times to knock it out of your hand on purpose, or how to pry it or lever it out of your hands. And that's the technique, right? It's just like with the bokken, the Japanese sword. If I can knock it out of your hand, then I've got an easy come in and slice you up and I win, right? But it's the same thing with the staff. So learn to have a really strong grip. This is a really, if you want one bow staff fighting drill, do this. Practice keeping your hand in contact the whole time as you are changing hand position. Because when you fight, especially the Japanese style, you fight this way, this way, this way, but then your other foot's forward, so you have to change your hand position. Then your other foot's forward, and your other foot's forward. So if you can get really good at this and never getting your hands off of your staff, you can also start doing this. This is gonna strengthen. My right hand's pushing down over the top of the right hand, the left hand's there. But watch what I do with my hands when I start to do this spin. See how they're in constant contact with each other or the staff. Practice that. Faster and faster with your hands as close as they can possibly be, so that you can practice changing that hand position, that fast strike, hand position in your other way, hand position, trying to work around the tripod. But that's 2 quick tips. The last tip is find somebody to practice with who's got common sense, and you want them to push you a little bit, but you also, it's like if you were a tennis player and you were a beginner and you were playing against a master or a pro, and they just keep like, boom, just flying, winging them at you. You're never gonna learn. You need that tennis pro who's gonna lob it to you, or whatever sport, right? And they wanna teach you how to volley and teach you how to backhand and teach you how to do all that stuff. You need someone to practice with like that. If you're a beginner and they're a beginner, that's okay. Just make sure beforehand you talk to each other. And then when you get hit too hard, say, hey man, that was too hard. I'm still learning here. And then you'll learn how to fight with a little bit better and learn all the different hand positions and what you can do. But there's a lot, it's fun. Number 1 tip, get started. Don't wait to start. Let me grab that Joe, I'll be right back. All right, I got the Beefy Joe. I call it the Beefy Joe because it's 1.5 inches in diameter and it's heavy. It's at redwood or red oak. This one is on the shorter side. It's 50 inches. I like them when they come up to about here. So I need probably about 4 more inches on mine, maybe 4.5. But this is what I got, right? My best Joe that I've ever had. It's like I can feel it singing to me or calling from. It's still in Ohio. I don't know if I'll ever see it again, but I've got this, so I'm using this because I don't want to wait till I get the one I like. Anyway, don't wait, that's my point. First thing you want to do is get it between you and the thread. Second thing, point your thumb at the thread. Sounds familiar, right? You point your thumb at the thread. Now you have the stick in the back hand. Just from here, point your thumb at the thread. The thread's right here. Point the thumb, point the thumb. Practice that. Then the first strike I want you to work on is just push. From here, think of a pool cue, right? You're lined up, you're playing pool, you got this, pool thing, but it's the same concept. From here to here. If I aim my thumb at you, you're the threat. And then I just push that first most basic strike, most important one. Think about self-defense in terms of principles and not techniques. Principles say situational awareness, pay attention to what's happening around you. Number 2, put the stick or the weapon between you and the threat. Number 3, point your thumb at the threat. Create some distance, right? And number 4 is commit on every strike, but go all the way through. And it doesn't matter what the order the principles are in, but immediate, direct, and explosive. Immediate, direct, explosives. Immediate means respond. Don't wait. You think it's a threat, you're ready. And if they're like, what are you doing? And you realize you're not a threat, you're like, I was just holding my stick. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Better safe than sorry. Immediate, direct. What's the most direct line between me and you? You're the threat. It's that straight strike. So number 1 is really important. From here, just coming in to there. Pushing hard. And don't overthink it. That's the first strike. Second strike. Just coming from here, breaking their clavicle. They've got a knife in their hand, smash it, right? You're here, create distance, strike. Your hands are separated so that you can control that. If you want more power in your strike, sliding your hand together, like a baseball bat at the end. From here, but your hand is pushing the whole time it's coming down. That's what accelerates the strike and really destroys their hand, because you want to destroy the threat. From here, strike, strike. If they're behind you, pushing the other way. Yeah, I love it. It's been a blessing for me for many, many reasons. I've made this much money from this school since I opened here in Florida. But I have a place to come. My kids can work out, they can do their gymnastics, they can do all the other stuff. I work with my family, the close extended family. They come out, we do boxing workouts together. It's a place for me to go and decompress, not stuck inside the same 4 walls. Got different 4 walls, right? And, I can throw a kettlebell or swing a Indian club, and you're right, it's a blessing. But you're right, in these times of uncertainty and real danger, there's real danger of different levels. There's danger in the most practical sense in that I talk to the law enforcement guys and they tell me that violent crimes are going up because they've responded so little. At first, all the criminals stayed home. They're not doing that anymore. Plus, they're all having a hard time getting money, resources. A lot of people are out of work, a lot of desperation. A lot of people are gonna come and try to take what you've got from you or from the people you care about. Now you've got a stick in your hand. You've been quarantined for the last 2 months, but you've also been practicing. Now you've got a different response. You start to respond instead of panic. So you're right, it's a blessing in so many ways. All right, so let's backtrack. This is the Joe. From here, basic strikes, point your thumb, puts it in your backhand. Put your thumb at the threat. First strike, second strike. You wanna make it a harder strike, push the hand into the other hand, accelerating, comes closed, and you smash them. One of my favorite moves, above your head. It's a block, right? So from here, I strike and I'm here. But then I'm gonna let it slide behind my body as I step back and out of the way and this thing is really heavy, and it's hard. It feels so good on my big, bulky wrists. That's how they get so strong. But from here, when I've got it here, and I bring it through here, I'm gonna clear everything out that's in front of me. If that's his leg, you know, if it's 2 or 3 guys, and I'm just swinging, and then I'm gonna bring it to a stop, so I'm ready to defend myself again. So those are some basic strikes. Let's talk about spins. The most basic warm-up spin is gonna be the figure 8, right? And you can spin this, you can spin it like this, the same way we do with the bow. It's not as long, so you don't have as much leverage, probably not as much weight, although this one is as heavy as my bow, as most of the bows. So you're gonna get a lot of strength there. You can also do all of your overhand spins just in the middle. And the benefit here is that I have high ceilings here, but if you have less than high ceilings, you don't have high ceilings, you can do this indoors where you can't use the bow staff indoors. So a lot of benefit there. You can do your finger rolls. And on this big, thick, chunky Joe, it stretches it out. It feels great. Gives me a lot of strength in my forearms, but also the figure 8. And where the figure 8 with a bow staff might not be as much of a defensive move or a fighting move, with this it really is. It's designed, the first basic level of striking, I just bring this, turn my shoulders, turn my hips, pop it. The threat's coming in, he catches me off guard, he gets too close. This big, and this thing really hurts. I've hit myself with this. This hurts worse than most of my staffs. This is coming down right on top of his face. And you can, if you want, you can support it this way. This is another way to hold it. From here, bringing it through. There are a lot of ways that you can strike, block with this thing, bringing it through this way, down this way. All those things are ways that you strike with, but the spin going through here. Stomach up and in, abs tight, turning your hips, turning your shoulders, and all you're doing the same thing as if you had that bow staff, but the difference is you've got the longer side and the shorter side. Getting a good warm up. To transfer hands on this one, it's really all about not ever letting go of the staff. Where the bow staff, there can be more distance because some of the moves are more fancy, and just for fancy. These are all fighting moves. There's no fancy Joe moves. There's a lot of super fancy Joe moves, don't get me wrong. Some of the hardest things you can do. I wouldn't necessarily do them all for self-defense, but most of the moves are all done in a practical way. So it's the same thing here. So spinning from one hand to the next, but then changing the hand position here gives me almost that sword that I was fighting with before, right? It gives me that long length and distance. And so in that spinning, you have spinning, and then you level up by learning how to do that hand move into this spinning, and then you go back. So you have 1, and then you spin, and you bring it back 2, and you're spinning it this way. So those are just some of the basic spins. But my favorite thing is, for me, it's a meditative weapon. That means I get into a meditative state. I start in this position, and I do the thrusts, or ski, spelled T-S-U-K-I. That's the Romanization of it. I don't know the kanji or the Japanese characters. But from here, pushing, and then behind you, to the side, and to the side. And so you're starting to flow, and you're learning how to move that thing through your hand. And then you can go into this type of strike, where this hand, again, is accelerating. It comes over and over, but your hands always come out to the sides. From here, you can practice turning this way and this way, finding that midpoint as you're moving. But again, the key here is your hands never leave, you're never coming off of the bow staff in some of these moves. From here, pushing behind you, and see how my hands are in this position? You've got this one, this one, this one. These are all correct positions just for different strikes. From here, the guy comes running up behind me, smash him wherever you can hit him, the guy's in the front, sweeping through, changing hand position, and then you're fighting again. But that's what's so beautiful about the Joe staff is that, and that's why I think it's a little bit more complex than the bow. The bow, the taller one, there's a lot of cool moves you can do with the bow, some fancy things, but the Joe really is a fighting weapon. The police departments in Japan, Tokyo, years ago, carried the Joe. There's a guy in my neighborhood, it's a true story. He's an older guy, and I think he might have dementia a little bit or something, but he got in trouble with guns. He threatened somebody, like one of the technicians or something. That's why he's like in his 80s. The police came, they took everything away from him. Now he feels vulnerable. But recently, he's been walking with the Joe. And I walked by his house one day and I saw inside he's got a clean white gi with an old tattered belt. So this guy's like an old martial artist. But he walks, this is how you walk with a Joe. He just walks down the street. And I think he's a little, nervous or maybe he's a little off. But the point is, these things are everywhere. And you can carry this. Now this is a little bit more menacing, carrying it like this. Looks like you're walking tall, right? That old movie, the guy just passed away. When I was a kid, I love that movie. I carried a 2x4. He walked tall and he bashed everybody up. But then The Rock played Walking Tall, and I think it was, I'm gonna smash myself. Maybe he grabbed I think it was the same thing, 2x4, but he smoothed it out or something. But it's the same thing, it's just a big old stick, right? And it looks like a big crass weapon until you start to train with it and you realize that there's so much intricate, esoteric stuff, beautiful things in there. Yeah, great question. My first martial arts weapon was a painter's pole or a rake or a broom, and it still had the broom on it, right? Because I still had to clean the workspace or the yard. And so you start doing that with your broomstick. And then later you find an old broomstick, you can cut the end off, and the broomstick's almost the perfect size for the Joe, for this one. It's not as long, but don't wait till you have the perfect thing. Anything you have, curtain rod, if you have a hardware store near you but no martial arts supply, go get a dowel rod. They make them in the, I think, 48-inch. And then some of the, like Lowe's, I know because I've got them at Lowe's, Lowe's will sell a 7-foot tall, and it's a curtain rod. So it's really, or not a curtain rod, it's for clothes. They're really strong, and it's about $8 or $9. They're designed to hang up the clothes in the closet, and they're longer than this. They have some this size, some longer. Look at that. And if it's too thick or too thin, so what? At least you got started and you didn't wait. And you didn't invest a lot of money. But grab whatever you have. There's no way to do it wrong as long as you get started. All right, I want to go see if NASA's getting ready to launch that thing. There's a massive storm outside, so I don't know if it gets to go off today. That'd be a bummer. But you want them to be safe, right? I can still remember the Challenger as a kid. We're all sitting there watching it go up, and but that's not gonna happen today. Elon Musk, he's a smart dude, man. He's gonna send those guys up on that big old rocket, and they got those cool new costumes or whatever they're called. Anybody watching it? Anyway, they're supposed to be doing the countdown soon. It's all over YouTube if you want to watch the SpaceX launch of the 2 astronauts. But thanks so much. Put all your questions in the comment section. I'll read them in there. If you want to get the curriculum for the bow that we did earlier, that staff, all the things that I think you should know, plus the kata written out, word by word, go to that link below, pasquino.com, and it has whatever, and get that. I'm going to do more with the Joe. Hopefully tomorrow I'm going to do just the Joe workout. And I've been working with this because it's such a delicate, it's not delicate's the wrong word, because delicate implies that it might break, and it's not going to break. His head's going to break before my staff is going to break, right? But it's an aesthetic, beautiful weapon, elegant. That's the right word, because you can have a sword that's elegant and still slice somebody up. So this is a very elegant weapon, and it's not like picking up the bow. I do the bow every single day, but I hadn't had the Joe, and I finally went to the store, bought a stick. I bought a dowel rod first, it broke it, and then I went back and I got a better dowel rod, and I've been using that, and I've been using this one. And they feel totally different, but there's value to using different weapons so that your hand gets used to picking anything up that you can. You can pick up a water bottle, and the guy's got a knife, but all you have is a water bottle. It's better than your hand. And you can, especially if that thing's full of water or air, and you can smash right through, break it. You can break his wrist with that thing if you know what you're doing. If you practice this way and you have a tight grip, those hard strikes because you've done this over and over, or roll up a magazine really tight and make a stick about this long. Squeeze that thing, and it's better than nothing, right? So, and you learn all that by changing your grips. Thank you. I appreciate it. You're welcome, and I'll see you next time.